and welcome back to another episode of Tally Movie Reviews. Today we're going to be talking about Space Jam: A New Legacy. And this movie fails on so many levels. So one, you got LeBron James. Almost every moment in the entire movie, this is LeBron James. What? No way. That's LeBron James throughout the entire movie. The whole movie is supposed to be, everything LeBron James does is for his family, which is a nice concept, I guess you could say. But there are moments in this movie where he contradicts his personality. There's no room for him to advance himself as a character, which is not very good. His kids, this whole movie, it's like they're shoving his whole family down your throat. Number one, they didn't get people to pretend to be his kids or anything like that. They literally got their kids to be in this movie. His sons are not very good actors. You'd have to be pretty stupid not to notice that you're getting manipulated like that. Yeah, which I'll get to that in a minute. So that's basically it. So the movie starts out with a young LeBron, and he gets distracted during his basketball game by playing a Looney Tunes Game Boy that his friend gave him because his friend got a new Game Boy. And his coach yells at him. It's during the game he's playing this, and the coach is just now noticing this at the end of the game. Number one, LeBron was benched the entire game till the very last play of their high school game or little league game, whatever you want to call it. And then this coach takes the Game Boy from him and yells at him. And I'm like, okay. So he starts saying to LeBron, he's like, you need to stop wasting your time on things that are important and focus on your career of being a great basketball player because I know you got what it takes. I'm like, okay, if he's got what it takes, why did you leave him benched the entire time to play Game Boy until the last 3 minutes of the game where he fails? He misses the shot and loses. I'm like, a real coach wouldn't let their kids sit there playing Game Boy, and if he was the best player on the team and he knew it, he wouldn't be benched to the last 3 minutes of the game. So I thought that was stupid. So then it flashes forward to when he's an adult and he's all successful. It goes through a montage of his whole career, where he's been, where is he going. And it flashes forward, and then it cuts to his sons outside in their they show LeBron's mansion and everything. They're on the private basketball court. The one older son's practicing his shots, and he's doing a great job. And his other son is sitting there playing on his Game Boy. His whatever handheld device it's called. It's not called a Game Boy. And he's playing the game that he created. It's like, oh, his son created a game. He's pretty smart. And then his dad comes out on the court, he's all mad. LeBron's all mad that he was wasting his time playing Game Boy and not practicing basketball like he's supposed to. And they make it a point, the entire game, or the entire opening scene is, he gets on the court and they have this basketball machine. He says, ball me. And the ball, the machine shoots a ball out to them so they can keep practicing their shots. I don't need to see how rich LeBron is. I don't need to see this new technology that he has, which I don't even know if this really exists, but whatever. I thought it was stupid. And it was just a gimmick so that with the older son, every time they would be like, I don't want to play ball. See, the trigger word for this ball machine was ball. So the ball machine would come out and hit the kid in the head, and they played that to death. It was so stupid. I didn't care about it. And then, LeBron's all mad that the kid's playing this Game Boy or whatever you want to call it and not practicing on being a good basketball player. And that's basically the tension throughout the entire movie was, LeBron wants his kids to grow up and be great basketball players, but the little kid doesn't want to be a basketball player. He wants to make video games. So, LeBron's wife yells at him saying, you need to connect more with him. You haven't even talked to him about his video game, which this is how the kid makes the video game. See, they had the potential to make this kid be smart and actually give him something that he's special at. No. He literally has an iPhone with like some stupid scanning attachment, and it shows lasers and it scans people's faces and turns them into this video game. It doesn't show him coding. It just shows him just scanning things and implementing them into the game. So, in my opinion, it doesn't even look like he even had the software to make this game. It literally looks like he bought this app that would do all the work for him, and all he did was implement, people's faces and likeness. And that's it throughout the entire movie. He goes through, meeting all LeBron's co basketball players and scanning their faces and their likeness. And the players are all like, yeah, sure, go for it. Put me in the game. I'm like, pretty sure that's not how that would work. I'm almost certain that even the basketball, I don't know this for certain, but I feel like the basketball players still need to get like some sort of permission to do that, because this kid's like scanning like their likeness, their jerseys and everything in. I'm like, I'm pretty sure like the NBA has something to say about that, and I'm almost certain. Like, also, here's the other thing: not only is he turning these players into his video game, he's like merging them with like snakes and stuff. And I'm like, yo, I wouldn't want somebody taking my likeness and then turning me into an evil snake-looking creature for a basketball game. Like, I feel like these players would get a little more information than that. So it isn't until probably about 40 minutes into the movie where LeBron finally gets sucked into this universe, the Looney Tune universe. And how this works is, apparently Warner Brothers designed this AI, who is played by Don Cheadle, who totally phones this in. This is probably the worst performance by Don Cheadle ever. He's just bare minimum the entire time through. So anyway, Don Cheadle is this AI who comes up with this algorithm thinking, hey, Warner Brothers can make a lot of money if LeBron James agrees to come in and do movies for them. And LeBron James goes to this meeting, and he's like, no, this isn't for me. This is stupid. And LeBron James brings his younger son with him. And his son, gets mad at his dad and storms off. And the AI sucks the kid into the universe, trying to bait in LeBron James to come in and get sucked into this universe as well. So LeBron James chases after him and gets sucked into this universe. And instead of him following his son, he gets stuck in this room with Don Cheadle, and they make an agreement. You will get your son if you play me to a basketball game. Winner gets, you either get the son, and if you lose, you don't get your son. So then he's like, all right, I will send you off to this Looney Tune world, and you can build your team. So he dumps him off in Looney Tuneville, where Bugs Bunny only remains, because Don Cheadle offered all these other Looney Tunes a chance to go into other universes, like the Matrix universe, the Harry Potter universe. So basically it's just like multiple universes, and the Looney Tunes decided to leave Bugs Bunny behind in Looney Tune universe, and they all go into their own universe. Now, granted, some of these scenes are funny. They're just quick clips. For instance, like Granny is in the Matrix universe and she is the one. That's kind of a little funny. Right. And so Bugs Bunny, LeBron says, I need great players. I need like Superman and all that. And Bugs Bunny has his own agenda. He's like, no, I'm going to go get my friends and we're going to get back together. And we'll take on this basketball game together as a team. And, it's just a montage of them, getting all their friends. Wile E. Coyote, for instance. Wile E. Coyote, actually, I think is his name. Wile E. Coyote is in Mad Max. And it's actually pretty funny because they literally use Mad Max footage, Mad Max Fury Road. And the coyote is with them, with these people, on these death trucks and everything like that. It was actually quite funny. Same thing with the one, with the Matrix and all that. So they go through this whole montage. They get the team together. But here's my biggest problem so far. About halfway through the movie, I realized, oh, this is a full reboot. Because they're talking about how they don't know how to play basketball. They don't know how to do any of that. So I was like, oh, this is a reboot. So there's no mention of like them taking on, you know, the other creatures before in another Space Jam, which I thought was a huge mistake. Then they contradict that. Like towards the end of the movie where they're talking about, come on guys, we've done this before, we can do it again, you know. We just need to start believing like we did last time in the basketball game. And they even have like the little monsters cheering. On the enemy side, they're cheering for the enemy, I'm like, wait, they were nice by the end. Why they'd be cheering for the Looney Tunes, not for the bad guys? The whole thing contradicts the original Space Jam. And meanwhile, Don Cheadle is manipulating LeBron James' son, you know, into like joining his team. He's like, you know, you need to show your dad who's boss. You need to play him at his own game. When he gets here to play you, we're going to be playing in your video game and by your rules. So the kid is basically, his video game is like basketball only with like a twist. And he's like, yeah, so, you know, they create this meta evil team. They're actually called the Goon Squad. And it's just not... Then the funny thing about the villains in the first Space Jam was they actually had like a character arc. You know, they had some funny lines. These villains, it's literally just the kid, Don Cheadle, are like the only main two villains, quote unquote. And there's just a bunch of computer-generated NBA basketball players that have no character development, no funny lines whatsoever. It was just terrible. So basically, the kid and, you know, his team beat down LeBron James. It's like 10,000 to 48 is the score. And, you know, they go into halftime. LeBron James and his team get there. And, you know, they're all down, and you know something's going to come up where they're going to talk about like how they're going to come back, you know, that good feeling, you know, moment. And there was this one funny scene. I'll admit, it was pretty good. Daffy Duck comes in. He's like, guys, I got Michael Jordan. And they're like, Michael Jordan's here? They're like, yeah. Well, bring him in. And, you know, this guy walking down the hall slowly starts like panning up. Oh, it's Michael Jordan, all right. It's Michael B. Jordan, Killmonger, a.k.a. Creed. He's sitting there eating popcorn. He's like, what's up, guys? They're like, that's the wrong Michael Jordan. That's Michael B. Jordan. And Daffy Duck's like, no, this is Michael Jordan. They're like, no, it's not. He's like, well, how was I supposed to know? It's been like 25 years since I last seen him. So they mention, so it's like so that was funny. They got Michael B. Jordan. But in the whole beginning of the movie, they're saying how they don't know how to play basketball and they're terrible. And, you know, they're not going to win. And now they're referencing, again, Space Jam when they knew how to play. I don't know. They should have just gone with one or the other. Full reboot or actually mention and play into what happened before. There were some good moments, but those good moments don't outweigh all the bad moments. There's a lot of bad things. So, you know, after Michael B. Jordan actually leaves, you know, LeBron James gives him a speech. He's like, before he was always telling all the Looney Tunes to play serious, you know, we play by the NBA rules, and then finally he realizes, you know, let's just go out there and have fun. And then they come back and win. You know, that's how it ends. You know, and then the son, you know, halfway through the game, he realizes he doesn't want to beat his dad. He wants to play for his team because he loves his dad, and his dad talks to him. And they come to realize, you know, you can still have fun and you can do what you want to do. You don't need to follow in my footsteps. And then Don Cheadle, you know, gets mad and he becomes like one of the big baddie players and then joins the game, cheating the entire time. Then they find out, like, then the Looney Tunes start winning, but Don Cheadle controls the game and he snaps his fingers back, you know, and takes away the point. And then the kid realizes, he's like, Dad, he's like, last time I played my game, I did your double step move and it glitched the game. So if we do that again, we can glitch Don Cheadle's character and we can score the points and win the game. And that's what they do. But here's the thing. If whoever does that move, the character gets deleted. Because that was the point of the glitch in the beginning of the movie that they mentioned. So LeBron's like, I'll do it. He's like, I'm not a real character anyway in this. I'm just a human, so I'll be all right. Bugs Bunny doesn't like that idea. Does the LeBron James move, and then he starts getting glitched out and then deleted. LeBron goes in, scores, they win, yay! And that's basically the end of the movie right there. Bugs Bunny passes away, which we all know he really doesn't do it, and they could have almost sold it. They actually could have almost sold me to the point where I felt bad, but it was literally like, LeBron James goes up to him and he's like, Bugs, I can't believe you did that. He's like, thank you. I'm going now. And then he starts disappearing while Bugs Bunny's dying. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like, give a little more heart to this moment. Bugs just sacrificed himself to, like, save you and get your son back and everything. And it was horribly executed. It was just, I was laughing at that. It was so bad. But, you know, at the end of the movie, he takes his kid to E3 so his kid can, like, show, you know, his video game that he created, which I don't believe for a freaking second. He may have, like, created the... He didn't create any of the software, let's face it. It was very stupidly done. And then Bugs Bunny shows up in the real human world with LeBron James. He's like, I thought you died. He's like, I'm a cartoon character. I can't die. That's all, folks. Yep. That's it. Not a good movie. Terrible. I think it was a terrible movie. They should have never made this. And they shouldn't have... It was literally like... I feel like LeBron James... I don't know this for certain, but I almost feel like he pulled a Will Smith on the studio. I'll do this movie, but you have to include my entire family. Every minute it was a new LeBron James family member popping in and out. It was just like his wife, his daughter, his like nieces, his nephews, his sons. It's just like, dude. Terrible. Anyway, that's my long rant on how much I despise this movie. Don't even watch it. Go and just watch the original. Enjoy, you know, the product of its time. Now, granted, that wasn't a great movie, but it had enough heart to it where you enjoyed it. Whereas this movie has no heart. The Looney Tunes are an afterthought because, like I said, they don't even show up till like 40 minutes into the movie. And this is a 2 hour and 20-minute movie. So it's just like whole 40 minutes of LeBron James and his kids and his family and stuff before they finally get into the Looney Tune world. Anyway, thanks everybody. See you next time.